Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jerry Conti, Partner Manager of Trusted Team. And today on our Ambassador Training Call, we are really excited to introduce Mitch Axelrod. Mitch, are you with us?
I sure am. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can, Mitch. Thank you for being here. And just really want to honor you for joining our trusted team and being part of this extraordinary organization that's really making a difference in so many people's lives. Professional business owners and small business owners are really succeeding with our platform and really succeeding with our concept of trust and creating their partnerships and strategic alliances that are making a difference. And so I just want to honor this new relationship. And for all of you ambassadors out there who are either here live with me today or are going to be watching this replay, I just want to let you know a little bit about Mitch before we bring him on, and he's going to share some words of wisdom with you all. And I want to just give you a context to the relationship that this is in with Trusted Team and Mitch. I have been privileged to meet him about a month ago here in San Diego at a JB Alert event, and I was really impressed by this man who spoke in front of a group of, quite a few people, teaching them about rejection-proof networking. And I was like, wow, this is a special guy, and he was speaking from his heart. He was making a difference in people's lives, and he was teaching something of value. And so anyway, make a long story short, we basically formed a relationship, and over the last couple weeks, we've been in deep dialogue about how we can strategically partner. How can he come in and support what we need, and how can we support what he needs? And so we created this win-win relationship. I consider Mitch as not only a friend, but a consultant to Trusted Team. Of course, we brought him in to support all the ambassadors, our national, on some level, sales team and our partnerships all across the nation. We have now 85, I believe 85 ambassadors. We even have some in other countries, which is just exciting to see that just grow and expand. And we wanted to bring the greatest level of value and intellectual property and content to the table to make your business grow. That's our intention here. And so he is the author of The New Game of Selling. He's the author of The New Game of Business. Mitch is, if I was to describe Mitch to you as a friend and somebody, instead of just reading his bio, you all have his bio. And so you had a chance to read that. He's an incredible, accomplished businessman. But if I was to say something about Mitch personally and to endorse him, I would say he's probably one of the most authentic, brilliant, strategic thinkers who has a conscious mind, a heart-centered entrepreneur. He's always about playing win-win, and he's really friendly and somebody that you can truly trust. And that's why he's part of our trusted team. So again, welcome Mitch to the call. And I'm going to turn it over to you, and then we'll open up the lines for some of our ambassadors to chime in as well.
Oh, Jerry, thank you so much. I bet all those things you said about me, if you asked my son, he would disagree with every one of them. So, no, it's really great to be with you. As my dad used to say, all that and $2.50 will get you on the New York subway. So stay with me, because Jerry, were you going to handle the slides? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I've got that covered for you, and I've got it up on the screen right here.
Okay. Terrific. Yeah, and kind of hang with me, because this is okay. We're getting an echo in the background of there we go. Okay, so yeah, and I'm thrilled to be with you, because trust to me is the foundation of life. And although you and I are when he was doing his work around Hub, and I was on the platform at the Harv Eker seminars back in 2008, and so I got to see what he was up to, and I was so impressed with what Brandon was doing that I thought, someday I'm going to work with this guy. I don't know how, I don't know when, and sure enough, as the circles of life keep spinning around, so here we are today. So first off, thank you for welcoming me. I'm really honored to be part of this whole mission that you're involved with. And I also want to say thank you to the ambassadors who are with us today to give me an opportunity to spend some time with you. I am mindful that your life and your time is your most precious resource, so I promise I will not waste a second of it in trifles. So I really want to give you as much as I can give you, but really the purpose of this conversation is not so much for me to present something to you. I'm going to actually ask you to participate, because part of what we're trying to do here is we're really trying to understand two very important things. One is, what is it that you really want out of the ambassador program? And what do you want out of the relationship with Trusted Team? And then the second thing is, how can we support you in getting that? All right? And so when Jerry and I talked about what could we do today that would be of value to you, that would have the biggest impact for you, we just have a little bit of background noise. I'm not sure if there's a mute button, but if somebody's on the line, if you, just for the short term, if you could be mindful of your background, then and with you. And I feel like the best thing that we could do with you is to take you through a process to help you really get clear about what you want, and then once you get clear about what you want, what's the 4 critical questions that you're going to answer, not necessarily today, but going forward, that are going to actually enable you to walk up to the center of the bullseye of your target and go doink, right into the center of the bullseye. And do that every single time. So whether it's in business, whether it's in personal life, all right? So that's our objective today. And your participation is really important, critical, essential, really, because we really want to help you with this game, the new game, if you will. And the first step in the new game is actually knowing where you are and knowing where you want to be, all right? And so the formula that we're going to use, and actually, Jerry, oh yeah, okay, so I think this is the next slide. So we're going to share with you a formula, and if you're listening on the phone and you're not in front of a computer where you can see this, but you have access to a pad, you're not traveling, you know, you might want to stop and pull over if you are. So grab a pad if you're listening and you can't see the PowerPoints, which is fine, because I'm going to give you a formula, and we're going to take you through the formula today, and you're going to see how powerful this formula will be. Number one, in helping you get really clear about where you want to go and how to get there. Secondly, how do you use this formula with every single client, customer, buyer, person that you want to use it with, because it's got the most utility of any formula that I've ever developed. In fact, a good friend of mine wrote an entire book based on this formula. His name is Brian Tracy. You probably know him. He wrote a book called Flight Plan that was inspired and modeled off of this formula that I presented to him 20-plus years ago. All right, that's how strong a formula it is, and it is your flight plan for success. I call it the RAND formula. And then you're going to realize that not only can you use this with your customers, but you can use this tool as your navigational tool to keep you on course from where you are to where you want to be, okay? And so what business are you in? Well, I'm gonna share with you my answer to that question in the next second or two that I came up with 35 years ago when I got into business. When I got into business, I didn't want to tell people I was in insurance, financial services, all right? And so when somebody said to me, what do you do? My answer was, I'm in the transportation business. And I actually used this phrase word for word 35 years ago. I help you get from where you are to where you want to be financially. Where would you like to go? That was the answer to the question, what do you do? I didn't say I sold life insurance. I said, I'm in the transportation business. You are in the transportation business. You know why you're in the transportation business? Because if people you serve don't want to go from where they are to where they want to be, why do they need you? Unless they want to be transformed. Not everybody wants to be transported. Some people just want to be transformed. And that's the other part of the business I'm in, is I'm in the transportation and transformation business. And this is the formula that's going to enable you to help you stay on course for your transportation from where you are to where you want to be, and to stay on course for your transformation from who you are to who you want to be. And this formula, more than anything else I've ever used, is one of the, if not the best trust builders, even if you are not comfortable with small talk, or you're not easily involved with people on a one-on-one basis where you'd much rather get down to business, this formula actually will help you to build unbreakable trust, unshakable confidence, and then once you walk in and you see how this works, you'll be using this with everybody. So let's start with you, and if you are, we actually go to the next piece of this, which is we've prepared a download for you. All right, so Jerry, if you want to move that, we're actually going to give you the gift of the RAM formula worksheets. All right, we usually charge for these, but this is something that's so important for you to have that if you're in front of a computer, you see the URL is right there. If you're not in front of a computer, you want to write this down. It's at thenewgame.com/RAM, RAM .pdf. So let me give you that one more time. thenewgame.com/RAM, RAM.pdf. Okay, you'll be able to download that and follow along. But just look at RAM as an acronym. So if we move on to the next piece here, here's the game you're in. Okay, this is the game on play. And if you look at this now from your point of view, what I'd ask of you to do is from this moment on, jump into this game, be all in, and make it all about you. All right, make this 100% about you. This is all about your flight plan for success. How are we going to help you, support you, and how are you going to get from point A to point B? There's a law called the law of infinite trajectory. The law of infinite trajectory says that if you want to get from point A to point B, there's a certain trajectory that you're going to take to get there, because the Earth is not flat, it's round. So you have to take a trajectory to get from any point A to any point B. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what your type of transportation, something is going to blow you off course. Whether it's wind currents, air, weather, a detour, all right, nobody goes from point A to point B in a straight line perfectly without some deviation. So the game is not about creating a straight line from point A to point B. The game is about getting from point A to point B knowing that you're going to be blown off course along the way. So what is the game? The game is not about creating the perfect flight plan. The game is about getting the jumbo jet off the ground so that you can, once you're in flight, you can make those in-flight adjustments. Now here's the killer about this. If you're not paying attention to your instruments, which are all the metrics in your business, your emotional state, your mental state, whatever it may be that's involved in helping you get from point A to point B, and you just get 1 degree off course, and you're taking a flight from, let's say, San Diego, where I am, back to my home state of New Jersey. If I just get 1 degree off course in my flight, where will I end up when you push it out to its infinite trajectory? Think about where I will wind up. In New Jersey, not a chance. Maybe in the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe in Canada. Maybe in Florida. Because 1 degree is all it takes to get you off course and keep you off course to wind up in a completely different place. So, your flight plan, which I'm going to show you is a 4-step process, you could superimpose this over every single thing you do. What do you want in terms of your point B with respect to your business? Today, what did you want your point B to be today? This week, this year, personally, relationally, spiritually, okay? If you're taking a trip somewhere, if you're going somewhere, you're en route, this flight plan will help not ensure, but ensure the probability that you're going to get there far greater than you would without it, okay? So let's move to the next piece of this, and let's talk about these 2 different components of the game that you play. You sell a product or service, we all do, something, or an issue, or a cause, or something you're passionate about. Maybe you run a foundation. Whatever it is you are involved with, you have something that you convey for money. But what we sell is not what people buy. We don't sell what people buy. People buy what they buy, but what we sell is what we sell. And the huge gap that I've seen over 35 years of business, working with literally 1 million people, creating $3 billion of new revenue for the clients that we've worked with, two things have totally changed the game for them. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's dozens of things. But these two things right here have had some of the biggest impact from mega corporations like IBM, AT&T, MetLife, Prudential. I could make you a list of companies we've worked with, all the way across the board to people like me, small business owners. I've been a small business owner my whole life. My biggest company, I had 35 employees. That was once. Most of the time, I've had a very small firm and a lot of virtual help. All right, so I'm probably a whole lot more like you than I am like MetLife or IBM. I work with them and they work with me, but I'm not like them. The two major transitions, the two major game changers that happened for me 35 years ago and that continue to happen for me is when I understood, embraced, and began to integrate that I'm in the transportation and transformation business. My game is to help transport people from point A to point B and help support their transformation from who they are to who they want to be. Everything else is details. And I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. I really mean that. That if you could somehow get people to see that you're the best transportation for them, bar none, and that the transformation that you're going to help create, cause, or facilitate for them is going to really transform their life in a way that they couldn't imagine. It doesn't matter what product or service you sell, because the product or service is just the vehicle. Where they want to go, they want the transportation to get to the transformation, whether that's a financial transformation or some other transformation, personal transformation. This is the game I'm in, and this is what this formula will help you to elicit from people one step at a time. So what is the RAM formula, and how does it work? All right, so let's move to the next one. And here's the idea of this whole thing, right? Transportation means you want to get from point A to point B. So I want you to think about, start writing down, if you have a pad near you, these 4 things. These are the 4 things I want to know. No different than if I were a travel agent and I were helping to transport you from point A to point B. There are 4 critical things I need to know. I need to know your destination, where you're going. Of course, I need to know where you are, but I know where you are. Well, actually, a lot of people don't even know where they are. So you actually should put, 1 is where you are, all right? But point 1 is destination. Where are you going? 2, departure and arrival date. I want to leave on such and such a day. I want to arrive on such and such a day. Preferred mode of travel. Do you want to take a plane? Do you want to take a boat? Do you want to take a bus? Do you want to take a car? Do you want to take an RV? All right? Or a train, maybe. And then special needs, desires, and preferences. Is there anything you need to travel more comfortably, more prudently, more expeditiously, or you want a budget? Okay? And you'll notice how none of this conversation talks about your products or services. It's all about the people you're here to serve. So that's the first part of the pieces of transportation. The next part of it are the pieces of the transformation. Okay? And we can move on to the next piece. And when it comes to transformation, the transformation is the new me. All right? That's the new me. So who do you want to create for yourself? Now, remember, this is all about you, so I want you to be thinking about you in this transportation, where you want to go. In the transformation, who do you want to be? So the first question, or the first part of this, is who am I being? Who am I being when I'm doing the doing of my work? Am I being compassionate? Am I being collaborative? Am I being conscious? Am I being cooperative? Am I being creative? Those are the 5 C's of the new game of business. Am I being conscious? Am I being compassionate? Am I being cooperative and collaborative? And am I being creative? How do I want to be? How do I want to show up with people? All right? What's precious and meaningful? That's the first question I used to ask. You'll see when we get to the RAM formula in a second. You'll see the first question I used to ask people, and I still do. I don't necessarily always ask them where they want to go and where they want to be, their point B. Sometimes I'll just ask them a question like, what is really precious to you? What's meaningful to you? what do you really feel most connected to? In other words, I want to know about you, the person. I don't want to just know about you, the customer prospect. All right. And then how would I like to transform? What would I like to transform? So essentially, who am I being and who do I want to be? Who is the new me? So how can you help me transform into the person I want to be? And you know, because you've invested with the ambassador program. That's why we want to know what we can do to facilitate your transportation to get you where you want to go, the transformation of who you want to be, and how can we play a role in that as well. And the only way we can know that is if you share that. So for the rest of the conversation that we have from this moment on, I'm going to really invite you to participate. And I can't see your comments, but I'd really love to see you share in the chat window or whatever some of the answers that we're going to come up with here as we go forward. Okay? How we doing, Jerry? So far, so good? I guess we're doing good. All right. We're getting a little feedback. I'm hearing myself twice. Somebody just came on the line with a little background noise, and okay, that's better. So we can move to the next piece here. Can we move the slide forward? Thank you. Okay, so we've got what sounds like an airplane in the background. So let's talk about this RAM formula, and if you've downloaded the worksheets, you can use the worksheets. If you have, if you're in the car, or you're not on the computer, then take a piece of paper and put this acronym vertically from top to bottom, RAMM. RAMM, RAM, stands for Result, Action, Measure, Modify. Result, Action, Measure, Modify. Okay? So I'm going to take you through each of these steps in a very abbreviated way. And I would really love for you to be completely present to this and do this like your future depended upon it, because it just may. We're going to help you to get some clarity today. We're going to help you to really hone in on what is it that you really want? What's your result? What's the outcome? So let's move to the R. Let's move to the first part of the RAM formula. And the first part of the RAM formula is getting very clear about what is your result. Okay? So we need to move the slide ahead to the first part of the RAM formula. So the result you're looking for, and there's two levels you might want to be operating on right now. One is fill this out or answer these questions just abbreviated, and please share whatever you care to share with us in the chat window, because we'd really love to know what it is that you want. So when I sit down with somebody and talk to them, I'm pretty adept at this, so I go through this unconsciously. But you could go through this like a little cheat sheet, which is what I used to do. I used to have a little cheat sheet, and I'd say, R, result. What's your outcome or point B? Where are you going? All right? The first thing I need to know, if I can help you, is where are you going? Are you going somewhere? And the second thing I need to know is what are you committed to? Because it's easy to say, I'd like to go from San Diego to New Jersey. I'd like to go from 50,000 to 100,000. Or I'd like to scale my business from 250,000 to a million, or a million to 15 million. But that's not the question, really. The question is, what are you committed to, not just what would you like to do. So where are you going? What are you committed to? And then the third piece of this is, what are you willing to do? And it's sort of like a 1-2 punch, you know, committed and willing. If you're committed and you're willing, then I have a chance to help you. If you're not committed or not willing, I'm not sure I can help you until you are committed and you are willing. But let's say you are committed and you are willing. Question is, what's your destination? So, would you share with us? And it could be anything. It could be specific, could be general, just to give us a sense. If you would be kind enough to share, you know, what it is that you're looking to get? Where are you going? And maybe it could be relative to the ambassador program if you want it to be, or it could just be relative to your business. Maybe even that's better. Make it relative to your business. And then, Jerry, because I can't see what's coming in, I don't want to wait necessarily, but I'd really want to encourage people to kind of talk a little bit about what it is that you really want. And maybe this would be a really good time to try to engage some dialogue if you guys are willing to play. So I can get a sense of what are some of the results, the outcomes, the point B, if you will, that you're really willing and committed to going to, all right? So I'm going to just give it a breath for a second here. Take a stop point. If you want to give me any feedback that's coming through the chat, please do, all right?
Hey, Mitch, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. We had some, sorry about everybody, we had some technical difficulties with my mic. For some reason, it's not unmuting me. So I've been trying to chime in. But anyway, for everybody who's listening, in the upper right-hand corner, if you raise your hand, I can unmute you, and you can communicate to Mitch. If you have a question, go ahead and just go ahead and push the question, and you can type that in the chat box or the question box, and we'll get an answer to you right away. I know there was a question here from Joan asking how to download the document. And again, Joan, just go to www.thenewgame.com/RAM, RAM.pdf. So it's thenewgame.com/RAM.pdf. And you'll be able to download that document, Joan. Thank you for that question. And if anybody else has a question or they'd like to just talk to Mitch, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll unmute you.
Yeah, and if you have something to put into the chat box, like you've come up with a particular thing that you're looking to accomplish and you care to share it, just share it in the chat box. So, if you, of course, everybody will see it, I guess. But this way we can get a little sense of some of what it is that you really want. How can we help you get there if we don't know what it is that you want?
Yeah, Mitch, we have Barbara on the line, Barbara Wainwright. Barbara, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Barbara?
Mitch. Thank you so much for your... Yes, I can hear it. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I sure can. Yeah.
Mitch, I want to say thank you for the great information that you shared so far. I think this is so important in establishing where you want to go and knowing in your mind's eye what it looks like, feels like, smells like, tastes like, And, one of the things that's I know for myself is that I'm very conscious in wanting to make a global difference and raise the consciousness of the planet, and I know that that's on the hearts and minds of a lot of people that are involved with Compassion Happens. We want to make a difference, and we want to know that we left the planet a better place than when we got here. So for business-wise, it means that for me, being able to be in touch with more people that are interested in coaching people to success, because that's what I do is I train coaches in addition to being an ambassador for Trusted Team.
Okay, so what you want is you want to attract from a business perspective. I totally got the big mission, all right? And by the way, let me just make a quick comment on that. It's probably across the board, everybody on this line has a feeling like you do, and we're all in this kind of together on that part, right? So the only comment I would have about that big global mission thing is how do you measure progress towards it, all right? You're going to see in a minute one of the pieces of this is measurement, all right? But let's focus on the more specific. You want to attract more people to your coaching practice who are ready, committed, and willing to be coached, and you're a good match for them to be their coach. Did I hear that right?
Almost. I actually train coaches, so I'm looking for people that want to make a difference in the world and want to change lives for the better through coaching.
Oh, so you train coaches. Great. So you want to attract people who want to become coaches or are coaches and want to be better coaches.
Right, and currently I've trained over 5,000 coaches over, since 2006, and I am looking to continue to do that because I feel it is my mission in life to get people trained to coach so that they can turn around and coach individuals and, just really help. It's like I don't know, multi-level going down and helping people, if you will.
Right, right. I got it. Totally got it. Thank you. Great. So there's a result. Now, hold on to that, all right, because we're going to actually take you through the steps to get it. And we're going to show you kind of in this process of how this process can keep you on course, if you will, for that outcome or point B. So thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I'd love to talk to you separately on another issue which we're going to be talking about in future conversations, and that is intellectual property, because you probably created a bunch of it. And you could probably deploy it in a whole terrific way. So put that as another result we'll talk about another time. So thank you very much, Barbara.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your sharing. Anybody else want to come out on the phone or want to put something in the chat? Share with us what it is you want, because we really are committed to helping you get there, but we can't know how to help you if we don't know where you're going. And it's okay if you're not really sure. It's okay if you're not sure. Say, I'm not sure. I think I'm going over here. You know, just something for us. It's okay.
It's great. So Mitch, I have Terry Elton on the line. Let me unmute Terry.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I
can. You hear me?
Yes,
Terry,
Terry,
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
So what am I trying to accomplish? Well, what primary objective around Trusted Team is I would really like to make my personal mission to, and the group here in Portland, to make this the go-to organization for bringing business owners and professionals together to grow their business, to create those powerful strategic relationships that is going to take the economy here to a whole new level and be, just be recognized as this is the go-to group.
Great. Well, that is very crystal clear. I appreciate that. And I could tell that you're committed to that, and I could tell that you're willing to do the things necessary to get there. And so thank you very much, Terry. That was really clear, really concise. And that's really something that we're also committed to help you do as well. So thanks again. Anybody else want to come out and share your result or point B? Anybody put it on the chat at all?
Yeah, we have Jessica.
Okay. Are you going to keep me in suspense, or are you going to read it? Hello? You guys didn't lose me, did you? Okay. One thing we don't want is somebody there? Somebody talk to me, please.
This is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mitch. Hey, I did have a question, and this comes up a lot when I'm talking to our clients, and it's kind of interesting how sometimes I experience myself going through it as well. What's the process, and what do you tell people, or how do you help them when they are unclear about defining their destination?
Fabulous question. I bet that comes up in 30 to 50% of the conversations I have.
Yeah.
When I ask people where they go, and they say exactly what I'm not sure. Okay, so this is a game, the RAM formula works perfectly well for people who know where they're going. For the people who don't know where they're going, then I kind of reverse engineer it, and I say, okay, if there's one place you'd like to be tomorrow, what would you do? Instead of going, let's say, what do you like to become? What would you like to do? What would you like to have? So in other words, if you substitute the word for the word go, because not everybody is sure about their direction and where they're going. So shift the word. What would you like to have? What would you like to do? What would you like to be? How would you like to contribute? So bring it back closer to the present. If tomorrow all of a sudden you could be doing something you love to do, what would it be? Now, if a person really has no clue at this point, quite honestly, I would break and I would say, look, I'm going to take you through the formula anyway, and let's pick something that you think you might like to do. And maybe by going through the formula, it might actually trigger something, and then we can come back to the result. But let's let's just pick something you think you might like. Okay, just to get them to start, moving in the right. Now, if somebody is totally clueless and they really don't want to play and they don't have any idea, well, how much time can you spend with somebody who does not have the clarity to know where they want to go, when there's so many people who have clarity about where they want to go and they're just begging for the transportation to get there? You just haven't met each other yet. So I put a limit on this, is like if somebody after 5 or 10 minutes, if they can't help me help them, I say, you know what I think, Jessica? Here's what I suggest. Why don't you spend a little bit of time with the worksheets? Come back to me when you feel like you have a better handle on where you want to go, what you want to have, what you want to do, and we'll re-engage at that point. Is that okay? Great. By the way, who do you know who you think really knows where they want to go, who I might be able to be in a position to help right now? That's how I would handle that. Is that helpful?
Yes, yeah, she's not on, she's muted. But yes, she said yes, I heard her.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just a nod or a wink. We can't see the nod, so give us the wink. Okay, good. So yeah, there's a limit to how much. One of the things that I've become really good at, and I really need to move quickly because I don't know what our upper limit is, and I don't want to have some crashing end to this before I'm. So could Jerry just give me a time frame here? What do we have in terms of time frame so I don't overstay my welcome?
We have about 20 minutes, Mitch. 22
okay,
minutes.
Okay, so we got to move really quickly. All right, so I think you got it here. All right, so let's move to the next step of this. All right, because this is really important. Step 2 in the RAM formula, action. Do something versus inertia. No matter how good your flight plan is, don't do something, you're stuck in inertia. No, nothing will happen. So, almost 20 years ago, I came up with a phrase. My guess is you might have heard it, but you're actually talking to the guy who invented it because I invented it for me. I'm a perfectionist. I have been my whole life. It's really held me back in certain ways. It's been good in some ways, but it's held me back more than it's helped me. So about 20 years ago, I was stuck, and I just couldn't get out of my own way. And finally, I literally screamed to myself, Mitch, would you just take imperfect action? Because imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. And that became my mantra, and I've shared it with literally 1 million people. You've probably heard it before. You'd see it flying around everywhere. Take imperfect action. That's my mantra. So how do you help somebody who's stuck in perfectionism? Take imperfect action. So what actions have you taken in the past? What are you doing right now to get from where you are to where you want to be? And then what are you planning to do in the future? All right, so now I have a sense of, are you doing something or are you stuck in inertia? Now this comes back to Jessica's question. What if a person is stuck in inertia? They're not taking action and they just don't know what to do and they're literally paralyzed by fear, by apprehension. You can help them. You can help them by coaching them, by being compassionate to say, can I help you get out of inertia? Can I hold your hand and walk with you arm in arm? Are you ready to have somebody help you to move you out of inertia? Because at least if you take some imperfect action and you start to get in motion, then we can do step 3 in the RAM formula, okay? And step 3 in the RAM formula, which is the first M, the next slide, is measure. Measure. Now, hold on, back one. Look at the actions you're taking right now. Got to go back one. Okay. The flight plan, no matter how good it is, you're off course the minute you take off. It's said that a rocket ship fails its way to the moon. Well, how does it wind up there? Very simple. It has instruments to measure every second of the way, are you on or off course? What are your instruments of measurement? What are your ways in which you become accountable, and how do you measure? And there's 2 ways to measure. You measure qualitatively, which are the feelings. Am I having fun yet? Is this enjoyable? Is this where I want to be going? Or am I going here just because somebody said I should go here, I ought to go here, I'm supposed to go here, I must go here, I got to go here? Somebody told me to go there. Is this qualitatively, am I enjoying this journey? and then quantitatively measuring the numbers. My income, my sales, my appointments, the amount of people I've helped, our click-through rate, whatever the numbers are that measure, are you on or off course to your destination? Critical. How often do you measure? How well do you measure? Some people I know, but when I talk to them, they don't even talk about measure. They don't even want to know that they're off course because that might frighten them to think, oh my God, what if I'm off course? Well, God, I got news for you. If you're breathing, you're off course. Somewhere, you're off course. Now, you may be perfectly on course in where you want to go right now from point A to point B, but I promise you there's going to be a wind come along somewhere. It's going to blow you off course. So the question is not whether or not, you're perfectly on course. It's just to measure so that you have a sense of acuity. You use your sensory acuity, which is your intuition and your feelings, to say, it doesn't feel quite right. And then you use your, essentially, your statistical acuity to measure the numbers. And the question here is, are we getting closer or are we getting farther away? Now, Jerry, if you can move to that next slide, let me just show you a couple things you could be measuring. And by the way, you're starting to get a sense of how powerful this would be. If you did this with every single client, I can tell you I've done this personally one-on-one with literally tens of thousands of people. And it has yet to fail that it blows them away. And most of the time, they've never stopped and thought about this for themselves until I showed up. So here's the difference in quality and quantity. Quality is who you're being. Quantity is what you're doing and what you're getting. Quality is the experience you're having of the journey. Quantity is, am I getting the result I'm looking for, the outcome, the payoff? Quality are, how am I building relationships? How is my trust factor? I set out in business 35 years ago, long before I knew about the 7 habits or the trusted team, long before they even existed. And I had a measure that I thought was the most important relationship capital measure, and that was my trust factor. And I used to ask people directly, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you trust me implicitly and you would never hesitate to tell me anything, to 1 being you better turn around and run away as fast as you can because I could hurt you, where am I on that trust scale of 1 to 10? And I tell you that my objective in business and in life was to be a 10 on that scale. I don't need to be a 10 on almost any other scale. But on that scale, I want to be a 10. I want to be your most trusted resource that even if you don't do business with me, you can always call me for a good, trusted advisor, second opinion, because I'm always looking out for your best interest. Which means that I put relationships as a quality, resources as the quantity. What kind of resources, what kind of connections can you make for me? What kind of stuff can you get me? Quality is people, whereas quantity is profits. And then it all gets summed up with the word intrinsic. Intrinsic is quality, intrinsic is soul, intrinsic is spirit, intrinsic is consciousness. And I play for the love of the game. When I stop loving the game I play, I stop playing the game. Why? Because I have to have intrinsic payoff in what I do, no matter how much money I make or extrinsic stuff I have. If I'm not getting intrinsic payoff in loving and serving people, I stop playing the game, or I change the game and I play a new game. And that's really how the new game came about, is I say, I'm going to keep playing a new game, and that's how I'm going to be a 10 on the trust scale, and that's how I'm going to have the quality of life where I'm really enjoying the experience, the relationships, and the people. And guess what? I get the stuff I want, the results show up, the resources and the profits all come because I do the first part. Okay? So how do you measure? How are you measuring? And then finally, the most important step of all, in order for you to increase the probability that you're actually going to get where you want to go, and that is the second M for modify. Correct your course. This is a very simple formula. I'm a real simpleton, truly. It was Da Vinci who once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Leonardo da Vinci said, and simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I try to make everything very simple. Simple for me, simple for you, simple for everyone. Here's the critical question you want to ask yourself is, how adaptable and flexible flexible am I? Or will I rigidly stay on a course that I know is not taking me where I want to go just because I started on this journey and somebody told me 50 years ago or 30 years ago, you have to finish what you start? Not necessarily true. If your point B is no longer something you want to go for or have or do, don't, change the game, change the goal, change the point B. People always say, well, successful people do what unsuccessful people won't do. Maybe. But is it really success if you keep marching toward a goal you're no longer passionate for, committed to, willing to do, get joy and satisfaction? Life is way too short for that. Which means you need to have correctability, revisability. You need to be flexible, not rigid. All right? There's an old ancient Chinese proverb that says, that which is rigid withers and dies. That which is open and flowing and flexible grows and expands. How open and flowing and flexible can you be? To make the changes, to take new actions, to alter, shift, and move. The question is, how will I adjust, revise, or change my course? This is a very selfish act. This is for you. Okay? So as you complete the RAM formula for yourself, you start to get a picture now of where you want to go, the actions you're taking to get there, whether you're on or off course, and be honest with yourself, and what kinds of changes will you make or new actions will you take to move you back to where you want to go. This is the magic formula for success. Everything really else that you provide to people to help them get there is just the details of the journey. But this is the essence of the journey, and here's what comes out the end of the RAM formula, which is really powerful for you. And as you'll see as we move forward in our meetings and our trainings, this is going to be your qualifying formula for when you sit down with somebody to really determine, is it a good match for us to move forward? Because what's going to come out of the RAM formula are three critical things. That's the next slide. And here's what's going to happen. You're either going to be satisfied where you are, meaning you're right on course, everything is hunky-dory, there's no problem, there's no reason to change, there's no reason to act, and guess what? I say, bless you, wonderful, I'm happy to hear it. Who do you know who is dissatisfied where they are right now? They have a problem, they have an opportunity, but they're just not ready yet, but at least they're dissatisfied, because here's the problem. If somebody is satisfied, if you're satisfied right now where you are, there's not much we really can do to help you until you're dissatisfied with something. Most people don't seek a solution until they're dissatisfied. And it's that dissatisfaction that's who you're really looking for, but really what you're really looking for are people who are ready. So here's the question. Are you ready, committed, and willing to change course, to get back on track for where you want to go, and take some imperfect action now? If you are, then we can help you. If you're just dissatisfied but you're not yet ready, then we can't help you as much until you get ready, because fish eat when they're hungry, not when we drop the line. And the old game of business, the old game of selling, was try to convince people that what you had was good for them and get them to agree. The new game is to find the hungry fish, to walk up to the center of the bullseye, and go doink every time with your arrow, and because one shot into the center of the bullseye is worth 5 or 6 hits around the outer rings. So here's your 4-question. It's a very short version of a target market, because once you determine where you're going and the actions you're taking, what you want, these are the 4 questions you want to begin to ask about the people you're going to serve. I'm going to go through them real quick. I'll expand on this another time. Question number 1 is who? Who am I best suited to serve? Who do I want to play with? Who do I want to work with? Question number 2, where are they? Where are they? Are they online, offline, down the street, at a mixer, in cyberspace? Where are they? Where do they congregate? With whom do they associate? Question 3, what is it that they really want most? What do you want most? That's what this whole conversation was really to find out, what you want most. All right. And then the fourth part of this is, how am I going to reach them? How am I going to reach them? Am I going to reach them my way, or am I going to reach them their way? If I wanted to reach you, would I reach you through an audio, through a video, through a PowerPoint, through a personal meeting, through a phone call, whatever? Okay. How are you going to reach them? And your best bet is to reach them in the medium in which they're already playing, in the preferred medium that they want to be reached. So there's your go-doink. There's a lot more to this, but I wanted to give you this because now we want you to really start thinking about what now and what next. Are you still struggling playing an old game? Are you feeling like you're pushing the rock uphill at times? Or are you ready to play the new game? Because if you're ready to play the new game or your new game, all right, then we're here to support that as best we can. And so we're asking you now to just answer 2 questions, very important questions, and if you would be kind enough so we can help you to post the answers of these on the Facebook page, the Private Ambassador private group. 2 questions. Number 1, what I want most from the Ambassador program is, and you can be as specific, please be as specific as you can be, and also feel free to write as much as you want, say whatever you want. All right. And then secondly is how I want Trusted Team to support me is. All right. So question 1, what I want in terms of the outcome from the Ambassador program, what I want it to do for me, and then secondly, how would I like to be the Trusted Team to support me in getting what I want out of the Ambassador program. Okay. And so you can leave that up there, and we really want you to participate because we're here to serve you in the best way possible. In order to serve you in the best way possible, we have to do a RAND formula with you. We need to know what you want and how we can help. Okay?
Fantastic, so, Mitch.
There you have it. That's today's conversation.
Can you hear me, Mitch?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, great, perfect. Thank you so much. That was so awesome. I just really appreciated the presentation. If anybody would like, well, let me just, why don't we just unmute everybody and just see how the line sounds, and just get some feedback and some comments. And all of you have access to the Facebook private group. If you actually don't have access, well, if you're on this call, since this is private to the ambassadors, you should have access. And so if you don't, just reach out to me at jerry@trustedteam.com, and I'll make sure that you get access within our private community for the ambassadors. So let me just unmute everybody. At a time. All right. You guys hear me? You guys out there? Oh, I think
you muted us. Yes, you muted me. You had enough of me. Shut up, will you?
Who's out there? Jessica, you out there? I can't hear you.
I'm here. This is Barbara.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, so
Hi,
this is really great. I just want to say thank you to Mitch for the presentation. I really appreciate all the information that you shared, and I agree with everything that you talked about as far as setting a goal and understanding what it is that you want to see. I particularly liked the information that you shared about what the difference between quality and quantity. That's really huge for a lot of people operating in the world today. And then understanding that we need to be, we need to be flexible. We need to be able to move forward and not be in fear of what ifs, and to have the confidence to just keep taking steps, knowing that we have a team here in place to help us get to where we want to go. We're not alone. I think that that's one of the key things about coaching and having a team is knowing that you're not alone in this. You have a group of people that are all committed towards the same result, which is to provide a forum for quality relationships to be developed so that you can expand through the quality relationships that you've developed so that we all expand. So I think this is such a great opportunity for all of us to come together, to brainstorm, to share our successes, to share what's working, to share things, maybe share what's not working if it's something that other people might do, and just, to share the successes. And I know, Jerry, I know you had an event last night. It would be great for all of us to hear, how was that for you?
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm off mute here. Yeah, we did a Trusted Team Mixer last night. It was phenomenal. It was we moved the location to Carlsbad, so it was a little smaller because we were trying something new, and I was testing something. We were having about 50 business professionals come out to our mixers, and it was just a lot of fun, here in Vista. And I thought, oh, let's just move it to Carlsbad. And of course, we had a smaller attendance, but it was still amazing. I posted that on our meetup group page, and I said, look, we were small, but we were mighty. And you want to talk about collaboration? I've been in conversations with the Brian Tracy organization, and I met the gentleman there at the mixer last night that's actually putting together a certification program for Brian Tracy. And it was just very serendipitous, on how these things, come about. And so it was just a great event. It's always nice to bring business people together and to help them succeed, give them some insights that they may be missing on how to really build relationships, create partnerships, and expand their business in a new direction, or a more prosperous direction, so to speak.
That's great. So would anybody else like to share, because I know we're bumped up against a hard stop, it seems. Can we get some more feedback? It would be great to know anything that you feel like this was helpful, because this is really just the beginning. We have a whole lot more to share with you, and we really would love to know if we're on the mark, if we're on course, or if we're off course, so we can make the in-course corrections and adjustments as we go forward. So please come out and share with us in the time we have left, if you would.
So we have Jessica, Joan, Nancy, Sandy.
Anything in the chat? If anybody's online, anybody want to share in the chat?
All right, so we've got, I guess everybody's pretty good with the training, and that's what the Facebook Private Ambassador program is all about, everyone, is to get in there and chat and to communicate. I go in there every day trying to, create some communication to you guys, and we want to consistently post and put our questions up here that Mitch proposed to us so that we can support you. This is about you. This is about how we can do that in the best way possible so that you can achieve your goals and really increase your revenue in your business, because that's really what we're focused on, is helping you get new partnerships, new referrals, through those partnerships. That's going to make the ultimate difference in your business. I think there's a couple other questions up here. Let's see. I'm having a hard time finding the questions here, Jessica. Maybe you can help me with that. I see that they've asked a question.
What about in the chat itself?
Oh, here, it keeps shutting off, that's why. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, I will post the URL on the Facebook page to so you can download the worksheets that Mitch suggested. So I'll post that in Facebook so you guys will have that. I've got a comment here that the presentation was brilliant from Jessica. I've got a comment from Joan, thank you very much. I got a comment from Sandy. This is Mitch's partner. Oh, great. Wonderful. Just listening in, and perfect. We're good to go, Mitch.
Thanks, Jerry. Okay, so my last comment is, just keep this in mind, that we're here to serve you in the best way that we can, and if you can, help us to help you by sharing us what you do want and what we can provide to you, then we plan to continue to deliver this kind of powerful business building and personal transformation, as well as transportation support for you. So please. And if you have other ambassadors who couldn't make the call, if you felt it was worthwhile, please share, let them know, and encourage them to watch the replay and support by going to the Facebook page as well. So just remember this, my last words are, you're a player, you can change the game. And I look forward to meeting you on the Ambassador Field very soon. Thanks, Jerry, very much.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.